Welcome to Not All Business, a podcast by two former CEOs who went from competitors to friends. I'm Blakely Graham, and my co-host is Heather Cooper, and we're joined by our producer, Clay Cornell, who never met a free conference t-shirt he didn't take. Today, we're tackling conference sticky situations, the awkward, the uncomfortable, and the can you believe that just happened moments that nobody warns you about. When someone remembers you, but you have no memory of meeting them, or when your boss asked you for one more drink at midnight. Heather.
Yes.
It's Dreamforce time again.
I know.
You have to go and I don't have to.
I know. Actually, you know what's I know, and I hate you for it. But you know what's fun is this is the first time that I'm going as like a client.
Oh, you don't have to
not a
like sell
partner.
some wares. Yeah.
I don't
a
have
lot
to
less pressure.
Yeah, there's no trade show booth. There's no
booth, babe?
I mean, what do you mean?
Can we actually back up? Because all this is so interesting. But for people who don't know
We
what
need to define
Dreamforce is, what is Dreamforce? We can
Right.
kind of assume it's a conference. So what is Dreamforce and how is it different than other conferences that makes it unique?
Well, as Blakely can attest as one of those huge dorks with the gold jacket, why don't you explain what Dreamforce is?
First of all, I never had the gold jacket. But being an MVP did get you certain benefits. So Dreamforce is like the Super Bowl for anyone who works in the Salesforce tech community.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of industry conferences out there. And today we're going to be talking about conferences in general and just like the situations you get into at conferences. It just so happens that Heather and I, along with our guest we'll bring on in a few minutes, have all been going to Dreamforce for years. Like, Heather, when was your first Dreamforce?
I don't know. It was too long ago to remember. But I will tell you that there's nothing like the first one because you're just walking around and it is exciting. And basically, Salesforce, Mark Benioff, takes over, is it like a square mile of San Francisco? It is a massive amount.
That's huge.
It's huge.
Yes, it's huge. To give some perspective, Clay, the first Dreamforce, don't call this a humble brag. It's not bragging to go to Dreamforce.
Just get it out.
Half your life. I went to the second Dreamforce. That's my first one in 2004. And it was in a hotel ballroom. There was 1,500 of us, including Mark Benioff and his then girlfriend. And it was a 1970s cover band. And we were just in a ballroom and it was like luau themed.
Cannot
Fast
imagine.
forward to my last Dreamforce, or the year before my last one. And they had to rent a cruise ship to like put up in the dock because they didn't have enough hotels in the entire city.
That's right.
To house all the guests. So there was like,
Forgot about
I remember watching, I think, Snoop Dogg on the cruise ship. It was crazy. So it's big. Yeah, it takes over the city.
So they brought in a floating hotel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Basically. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, San Francisco, they totally exploit this because any hotel that would, I'm talking dirty motels that are
Like the ones we stayed in.
miles away from Moscone Center, there would normally be like 189 a night or like 700 a night. They all just ramp up the prices. So
When you were at Cloud Coach, did you have like a timer? We had to wake up in the middle of the night to be the first one to like hit, like register
for
the trade show because you needed a booth placement and you needed the hotels.
Yep.
And so it was like this stressful. We had alarm clocks in the middle of the night. We were trying to get everyone registered.
Yeah. Because so you submit your payment to have a booth, but then later you have to, like, the first person to submit gets like first priority pick right on the floor. And that's a big deal because there are thousands of booths there. And so
getting hotel is a huge deal.
And I was like 10, 9, 8, and then I did it. And I was still like 14th in line.
Oh, you need more friends.
No, they said it was the server, our time zone server. I was like, whatever. Did you ever? I'm surprised you even had to like get up in the middle of the night. Didn't they just have you on?
So I think we're
speed
talking
dial?
about two different things. Like, I don't think we ever had to work for it for the booth, but we did have to work for it for lodging.
This sounds like you're trying to get like tickets to like a concert or like Labubu pre-order or whatever, you're trying to get
let's
something.
talk about that, Clay. We went from 1970s cover band in 2004 to now.
Oh yeah, who's playing now?
Metallica for like the third time in a row. Come on.
And Benson Boone.
Benson Boone.
Yeah.
We've done, I don't know.
Fleetwood Mac was my favorite by far. Fleetwood Mac and Pink. Those are my favorite.
Wow.
Pink is great. I like
Pink was great.
Fleetwood Mac as well. So
yeah.
Leon Bridges played one year. It's great.
He's a good artist.
That's a great
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going this year, and I'm just gonna walk around. Like I might even go see a session, and I know. Can you imagine?
No.
Do some learning. I've got my sales and marketing team. The heads of the directors are both going to go for the first time. So it's kind of fun to see people come for the first time and see it through their eyes. So I'm looking forward to it.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild. So we've been doing this now. I don't know remember date math, 26 minus, or is it 25? It's 25. It's more than date math. It's remembering what year it is. 25 to 2004. So I think we have some years of experience under our belt.
Yeah.
Heather, what would you say for listeners that it's their first Dreamforce, it's their first conference, or like what would you recommend tips wise? What have you learned?
Tips and tricks? Well, super practical things. I would say as you're getting ready for Dreamforce or any big conference, first things first, what are you wearing on your feet? And as an executive woman, I always felt pressure to like still be in the heels and have, the heels and then maybe tennis shoes in the bag, like walking back and forth. Forget it. Don't bring the heels. Don't even put them in your suitcase because it's the one place where executives are wearing all kinds of things. So if you want to stand out or you want to look funky, I would just get a really cute pair of sneakers, gold, bright color, fun, and just super comfortable. And that's a good way to get through it. Just don't even try to wear heels.
I think that's especially for the youngins that think that they can still wear heels because they don't actually have bunions yet.
Right.
Let's just like save you from it. I got my bunions from Dreamforce.
Okay. I don't have a bunion. What even is a bunion?
I actually don't have bunions either, but I have bunionettes. Same thing. Just different size.
That's worse.
Like, is it like a rock on your foot?
Why do I always share
People
this
get
stuff on this
shaved
podcast?
down?
You guys never share anything like this. I want to hear more about you guys.
The only other word that I know for
bunions.
foot-related stuff is corns, and
I don't
at
have
this
corns.
point,
Gross.
I'm too I don't know what it is, and it's too late. I'm too afraid to ask what it is.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm
I can't
just
talk
saying
about feet
for
anymore.
the 20-year-old, 20-something, they go to their first Dreamforce. They really want to make a good impression.
They want to be cute.
I remember at the first Metallica concert, we were at the bottom of the Moscone Center, and it was so bizarre because there was probably, 2,000 people there, and half of them were men in their like bro outfits or suits, and the other half were women.
Salesforce uniform.
And they had like their heels on, and you're like, what are you ladies doing? So give it up for Mark Benioff, who has like special designed tennis shoes made for him every single year that I think gave us all permission just to wear the tennis shoe. So just wear the tennis shoe.
Wear the tennis shoe. Also, plug for, do you guys ever follow Allison Felix? She's an Olympian, a runner. So she started a shoe company called Seish, and they're super cute. See my tall tennis shoes, and they have ribbons. She's got all different kinds, but she's the first shoemaker to use female molds.
What?
Yes. All of these years, we've gone on male foot molds, and then the female size is just 2 sizes smaller.
So it's a man's fault I have bunions?
Yes, that's the point. No, but I'm saying it's a really good company, and it's based on the female foot. So there you go.
All right.
Anyway,
Number 2.
That's my first one. Layers. You got to wear layers. The AC is all over the place. You can be hot. You're walking, depending on the weather in San Francisco that day, but wherever. And then you get in and you're a frigid cold. So layers, bigger purse, like kind of a backpack, not something too heavy. Don't overbring your tech. That kind of, that's another one that wasn't in my initial 5, but like pack as
Don't bring your
tech
laptop
as possible. If you can get away with an iPad, if you want to take notes, or even taking notes on your phone. But carting around your laptop, if you don't have to, is not worth it.
And they have charging stations now everywhere. So don't even bring like your big heavy boosted battery. Like it's just not even necessary.
Also, about a quarter of the booths give out chargers. So even if you forget one, then you just go walk by a booth and pick up.
And if you forget your bag,
swag.
you can get an ugly swag bag too. So you're all set.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. My number 3 is to get out of any session you're in or conversation that isn't helping you. And don't do it in an obnoxious way. Be careful where you sit unless you know 100% that this is going to be helpful for you. Always like plan an exit strategy because you have a limited amount of time. There's so much to choose from. And it's also easy to choose wrong. So if you find yourself sitting in a session that you're like, this isn't what I thought it was, just get up and leave. Your time is so valuable. You've invested your time and your money to be there. So make that worth it. And then same thing goes with conversations. This is a little more tricky. You can't just like look someone in the face and be like, this isn't really helping me, but nice to meet you and move on. That's kind of rude. But find a way to exit as quickly as possible because you can get really hung up by people who just want to talk and talk and talk and waste your time. And you're there to network. So stay in control of your networking.
That is really funny because I just had my monthly girls card night last night, and the host was telling us that she got stuck at the grocery store for 30 minutes talking to this guy who I think was an older man, and she never like got past the cheese counter for 30 minutes. And they started announcing the store closing, and she's like, I got to get home and make the soup for this party tomorrow.
She needs boundaries.
She does, but then my other friend at the card night, she's like, "What? Only you guys would like ever sit and get caught in a conversation for more than 30 seconds." And so I think it's really easy for people and it's really hard for people. And I'm one of the people that I will get stuck in the 30-minute conversation. And I agree with you, Heather. You don't have that kind of time at a conference. Like this is about building your personal network. And so it is critical you figure out how to get out of those conversations in a way that's comfortable for you.
Yeah. And also
have that ready.
Yeah. And I'm also very guilty of being like the old person talking to someone for 30 minutes, I'm sure, where I'm like oblivious that the person in front of me is no longer interested. So I would say to leave a good impression, be aware of, how's the person responding to you, and are they maybe looking for a way out? Like just be aware of that. Okay.
Wait,
number 4.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I wanted, I had one question about the vibe. So when you go to like a symphony and you sit down in your seat and the symphony starts playing, the ushers stop the doors. Like you can't come in and sit down while they're playing. You have to wait until the song's over. But and I have this feeling like whenever I go somewhere, like I don't want to interrupt like whatever's on stage, but it sounds like the vibe is totally different. So for people who are like, I'm concerned about what other people will think if I get up in the middle of someone speaking, is it rude? It sounds like that's the vibe. People are in, out, moving around.
Yeah,
they're
coming and going. I mean, you definitely, the more popular sessions, especially the ones with like Matthew McConaughey or, whoever they have this year.
Blakely Graham.
That's a really long line around the corner.
Our guest today actually has a session.
Oh, yes, she does.
Oh, yeah.
So
I bet
excited.
she does.
I'm going to go to it. But yeah, so choose wisely and feel free. It's the vibe is just very much all over the place there.
Depends on the venue. There's big and small. And like if you're in a small breakout room, I think it's a little less friendly to the speaker. And so I try to be sensitive and only go in episodes I can stay in. And occasionally they'll have ex-presidents speak, and you're not getting out of that one. So you better
sure if there's security or whatever, but just fake a phone call. Like, I mean, there's ways to like get up suddenly and you just like pick your phone up and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And you like run out.
It's so funny that I remember there was an iPhone app, one of the first like early apps that would fake a phone call for you. So you could, you could type in whoever it was going to be. Like whoever you wanted it to be that was calling you, so you could turn the screen around and show this person is calling me.
Like my daughter, like, I'm so sorry.
And the example they used was a president. They're like, you can show that the president is calling you.
And it's no longer a thing?
I mean, I'm sure it's still a thing.
Okay,
but it was like, it was
that.
one of the first apps where you're like, oh my gosh, I could totally use that.
Well, you could use it for what was your second tip? The monopolizers, like getting out of the monopolizing conversations.
I know. Who would you make it be? Who would you make it be? Where it's like the president is too, like, that's not real. But who is like
Mark at Dreamforce? It's got to be Mark, right?
I don't know.
Benioff?
You know him. I don't know.
I don't know Mark Benioff. I've met him, but
I would want to do like Melinda Gates. I think Melinda French Gates.
You know her middle name?
She puts it out there.
I don't read the news.
You don't know, but that's I think that's kind of like could be. All right, number 4 is hydrate. Hydrate.
I thought we were on number 4.
Hydrate. No, I got cut off.
Sorry.
I'm gonna hydrate.
I got cut off for the vibe. Hydrate. Pack liquid IV. Pack.
Yes.
Like, drink one in the morning before, like as you get up. Like what? Just hydrate all day long because you're talking to people all day, and regardless of whether you are, engaging in substances. That sounds crazy.
Like what? What substances
just
are you
drinking?
Are you like
I know.
mushrooms?
I'm like I've never done anything cool. Okay, all I've ever done is drink.
I've never done anything.
And I've smoked cigarettes like twice.
Sorry,
Mom.
Someone who's never done anything cool would say?
What?
Hydrate if you're partaking in substances.
I know. Oh, I did take half of an Adderall once, and I'm not ADD.
It's getting worse.
So
move on.
Okay. No, if you take Adderall and you're
not true, Clay. They sell conference specific, or not conference,
Adderall conference
festival specific like rehydration packets for like drug users. Like that's a thing, like supplements. Right, okay. So I don't know.
It's San Francisco. You can get anything
that'd be a great gift. Like give to everyone on your team, like hydration packs.
We did that one year at Cloud Coach. We did liquid IVs for our little giveaway.
Yeah, I think it's a great one.
Yeah.
Right.
We also made all the booth people dress up like Foot Locker. They were not happy about it. They were supposed to be like referees, but they just looked like Foot Locker workers because we did the bright orange shoes. And they were so upset.
We made ours wear aprons.
And
they're like, oh, it was terrible.
What was the catch?
It was great. Actually, it was my favorite one. They were really handy.
What was the
why were we wearing aprons? I think that was maybe our first class onboarding theme. So the whole thing was first class, and so it was like we're first class servers like on an airline. And it turned out really well because you could put all your stuff in the pockets, and I still have mine. I love it. I actually do. You know who designed it is one of our previous guests, Cindy, so let's not knock it. She was awesome.
That sounds like a great idea.
I want to quick before you move to the last one because I think there's one more, right?
Yes, one more.
Okay, so you're going to Dreamforce. Will you take a picture of the best and worst outfit and bring it back for another show? And or maybe whichever ones you see, and then
jackets
on. The infamous gold jacket. I don't know anything about it other than it's been mentioned twice on this show. But please take pictures of the best, like coordinated outfits and bring them back. And then we can do like a poll on like Spotify and people can vote on like whichever one they think is the best or worst.
Okay. I love that.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I can do that.
All right.
I'm also going to be recording live from Dreamforce next week too. Not like on the floor. Okay. Right. Number 5, do not skip the parties. Do not skip the parties. No, I knew you were going to disagree with me, and I could see by your face you're disagreeing with me. Mm-hmm. I don't think you should skip the parties. I think that is where true connection happens because the people are letting their guard down. They're stopping to have all the bullshit
because they're drunk
conversations. Yeah, because they're taking the substances.
I think I'm going to save my rebuttal for the full show. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's fine. Well, in my experience, you make a lifelong friend when you're, like this, like swaying back and forth in a piano bar, singing at the top of your lungs to like a Backstreet Boys song.
To Heather's
credit, remember
credit,
those people.
Yes. And I do think you need to remember, like, whether you're there with your company or you're selling or your vendor or your partner, the connections you make at these conferences could actually represent your next job, your job in 15 years, your job in 20 years. So building a personal network, I think, should be everyone's goal. So I do agree with you. This is where you want to figure out how you can make those connections.
Yeah. And it's good for bribery because I did video one of you're going to have to edit this out, Clay, because I hate when I can't remember things.
Why?
It's like a client. Normal. No, it's just boring on the air for people. But
it's real.
A prospect. That's the word I'm looking for. Who got so drunk. He rolled out into the street. He tripped. A big group of us were walking out.
What?
And he tripped and he was so drunk. He rolled out into the street and I stopped him from getting hit by a car.
You saved his
life.
life.
Out. I did. And believe me, that came up at renewal time. And when we were talking about getting him on, I was like, remember when I did save your life? So things like that can happen too.
Because that's how you want to win the deal.
Hey, whatever it takes. Okay.
It didn't really help you should go to these parties.
Now, please.
Go to this party. You'll either be
You might save someone's life.
You might save someone's life. There you go. That's good.
All right, so that's just a few of the top things that come right off the top of my head to make your conference a success. And we're going to get into even more interesting things about conferences with our guest. And I'm so excited. Let's bring her on. Blakely,
yes.
Who do we have?
All right, so today's guest is Stephanie Betters. She's a SaaS founder, a real estate investor, a former, let me get this straight, cardiothoracic nurse practitioner.
Stop it.
I know, right? And the person who first suggested Heather and I meet, which either makes her genius or responsible for unleashing all this on the world. Mm-hmm. She's a conference veteran, a Dreamforce veteran who knows exactly what happens when conferences get sticky. So, Stephanie, welcome to Not All Business. Hi, everyone. Blakely here. This episode of Not All Business is brought to you by yours truly, where strategist Cindy Fergard helps growth-minded leaders navigate pivotal moments with confidence. I worked with Cindy when I was CEO of TaskRay, and she's what I call a CEO whisperer. She helped us execute a complete brand pivot, boosted me up as a leader, and set us up to hit aggressive growth targets that led to our successful exit. Whether you've hit a growth plateau or you're evolving your company, maybe you're at a career crossroads, yours truly provides the strategic guidance you need, because what got you here won't always get you where you want to go. So sometimes you need a Cindy to help push you forward. Visit itsyourstruly.com and mention Not All Business for a complimentary strategy consultation. Okay, back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for making this whole thing possible.
I am so excited to see both of you on screen together. This is epic.
Well,
You're right.
Yeah. Well, we first met. So M&A firm, Tequity Advisors, have worked with both. They did my deal. I don't know if they did your deal or if there was a relationship
We were talking
there.
about a deal. So I
You're
just
talking
knew them.
about it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so they suggested that we meet. And it was tough because especially Dreamforce, like your meetings all day long, and it's hard to like fit that in and schedule. And so we were like, I think we've got half an hour, and we have found this coffee shop to meet at. And so it was quick. We definitely overstayed. I know we stayed there a lot longer, but connected immediately. It was so much fun. And yeah, she was the one who said, "Do you know Blakely? You know Blakely Graham, right?" I mean, obviously. And I was like, "No, I do not."
It was so great. Mm-hmm. It was so great. It was like found family. You know, when like you meet just your people and you're like, wow, you're my people. This is fantastic. And then you reminded me so much of Blakely. I was like, wait, you're both in Colorado. Mm-hmm. Cloud Coach, TaskRay do not know each other. I'm like, you have to meet. You're gonna love each other. I'm gonna intro. Yeah, it was so great. It was so great.
So now everyone has to hit pause, go listen to episode 5 where we like pick up on exactly that story, Stephanie. Yeah. So it's wild. Small world.
Then, how did you two meet?
Mike Davis.
Oh, Mike Davis. Yeah.
Oh, Mike Davis. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's also
another found family experience with both him and you, Blake. It's like it's great.
And who also coincidentally played a little bit in us finding this podcast, because he has a very successful podcast called How We Got There in the Salesforce ecosystem. And the very first time. Well, okay, so it was our second date, Blakely. We met for lunch, and then you invited me over to your house, which I thought was a little aggressive.
A second date.
I know. I was like, already? And you were like, yeah.
I think you said, I'm going to be in the area. Can I come over?
It was probably something desperate like that. Anyway, I came over your house, and then just so happened that Mike Davis, who, by the way, was in the middle of like a 6-month tour around the world, like break, happened to be in town that day, called and said, can I stop by? And then we were brainstorming podcast stuff. So meant to be all around.
Meant to be. Yeah. Meant to be. And I guess this shows the biggest benefit of conferences. Like we've all been there and networked through, and you get to meet your found family.
Right.
And some of these connections I've had for 20, 25 years. So yeah, Yeah.
So important just to get out there, because it can be a little bit awkward too, especially if you're like it was kind of like a blind date with Heather, right? Like Techquity is like, oh, she's a great female founder. You just got to meet her. I'm like, okay. Right. And you just got to break the ice really quick and get in different rooms and meet new people. And it's such a great opportunity to do that at these conferences.
Did you have like the thing on your phone to like get a call out in case it
totally
wasn't going
didn't.
well?
I would have been like, I gotta go. I would have pulled I gotta pee and then just ghost.
Right.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good exit.
Never.
So, Stephanie, can you just talk us through a little bit on, you just do not hear the story of someone being a cardiothoracic nurse practitioner. First of all, nurse practitioner is a big effing deal. Like, you went to school for a long time, then you added cardiac surgery to it. So I feel like you invested a lot in your life to be a very specific thing. And now I would say you're hands down the best CEO in the business. So what happened? Like, how did you get there?
It's a little generous, but
no, it's not. It's so true. So true.
It's wild how life just kind of takes you on a journey. And I think it's important to be maybe open-minded when it does so. But I never intended to be a founder. Actually, both my parents are entrepreneurs, and they never encouraged me to do anything like that at all. My dad started a computer hardware company, and I remember being a little girl and him selling kilobytes across the ocean.
No
like
way.
Packing like kilo, but now I don't even know what kind of bytes we're in now, but anyway, so, and then my mom was self-employed in interior designing and stuff. So I went to nursing school, met my husband our junior year, which again, very much out of the blue, had a very I was 19 years old, and I, with certainty when I met him, we were both volunteer EMTs. It was really dorky. I was really into it. He was okay into it. And we met, we met like in the squad room or whatever. I was wearing crazy cargo pants, and it just was not attractive. And he was like, yes. Right. Anyway, so I met him really young and in undergrad. And then, we graduated and I started working as a nurse, and I was like, dang it, I should have gone to med school. Right. So, so I was like, oh, what do I do? I just got married now and I want to have babies, and how do I balance all this? And I was like, okay, I can't put all that on hold right now. So I'll go to NP school. So applied, got into NP school, and my husband got into PA school at the same time. And he was kind of had the same internal battle, what is he going to do? So we went off to school together, and kind of right prior to leaving school, we had this 2-year gap where we were both working. And this was 2007, 2008. So we just got married and we had bought a house. And back then, buying a foreclosed house sounded like a great idea. Yeah. So it was HGTV was doing its thing. And it's you buy a foreclosed house and you just make a bunch of money. It's so easy. Right. So we bought a crazy house, and we
never have I said anything like that ever, by the way.
Ever. It's no problem.
But okay.
Whatever.
Keep going.
So we moved in this house, and we lived in it as we flipped it. And I was petrified to do this. He's like, no, it's going to be fine. We can totally do it. I'm like, okay. So
this is before kids?
Before kids. We were just newly married.
Yeah.
Right. In this kind of these gap years before grad school. And we flipped it. It was a crazy project that we didn't have doors in our house for the first year of our marriage. It was weird. It was real weird. And then we sold it right before the crash. 2 weeks after we sold it was the 2008 crash, and it was a nightmare. And we just got out, and that's at the total peak, and then went off to grad school. And so we were in grad school doing our thing. And my husband was like, well, let's do that again. Let's buy more. Let's do this real estate thing while we still go to school. And I was like, after we graduated, I was like,
not just school, but a medical school.
Yeah.
Let's
seriously. I thought adding a puppy was hard. You guys are
did you come up with
punishment.
I'll do it again, but if we have doors this time, little things like that.
Well,
at least on the bathroom.
Now I was pregnant in grad school and trying to work, go to school, pregnant, newborn, all this stuff. So I was we're going to rent. We're going to rent. But I will do it again in the future, because we made good money off that deal. And it kind of banked us through grad school, So it was we can do it again, but I will never live in a flip ever again. So when we figure it out, we've got to be able to afford it where we're living, and then buy an investment property. No more house hacking. We've got a kid now, and I just can't. So We moved to Charlotte specifically because of the real estate market, and there was really great jobs in medicine. And we worked for a few years. It was like 5 years before we bought our first rental property. I had 2 more children, so now we had 3 young babies. I got like my dream job working in heart surgery. I was like, this is it. I'm so happy. And my husband's like, we got to do the real estate thing, remember? I was like, oh my God, we have so much school debt. We just got our jobs. Like, how are we going to do this? And so we started our business with $20,000 in home equity, like a home equity line of credit. And I was like, this is an extreme amount of money. Oh my God. But I was like, okay, but at least if it all blows up, like we still live in our house and we still have some equity because you can't lend against 100%. So I was like, okay, this is the risk I'm willing to take. And then we bought our first rental and the world didn't explode and everything was fine. And then we started looking for more properties, and we're both working full time and we have the kids. And I kind of fell in love with building a company and building systems and hiring people. And we were really forced to do that because we were so busy in our careers. And I was on call 72 hours in a row and I couldn't take phone calls. So I was at the hospital because obviously I'm taking care of dying people. And so I was really forced to create systems and grow that. So my husband was a CEO and I was a COO. And we got a few years with like spreadsheets and like cobbling systems together. And then we just kind of hit the ceiling where we were spending a ton of money on marketing and we were doing deals and we had team members, but we had additional systems pain. And like there was no hub. And the way I thought about it was like in medicine, we have a electronic medical record, right? Like that's where all the labs go and the notes go and everyone's working off one thing, but we didn't have that. So I was like, this is wild. Like we need a CRM. Like, let's go find a CRM for real estate investors. And because it's
what is a CRM?
A customer relationship management tool.
Thank you.
So thank you.
You're welcome. So I went off to look for one because real estate investors it's like a niche within a niche. Like it's real estate and there's some things that are, relevant that agents do, but it's different for investors because we were marketing to homeowners directly and trying to get them to sell and see if they'd be interested in selling. And it was a little bit of a different motion than agents. So I couldn't find a tool that worked. So then I heard about Salesforce and I was like, okay, let's see what Salesforce is about. And I was super naive. Like I had no idea what to expect. I just knew I had this problem to solve. So Salesforce was the number one CRM. Okay. I entered into this sales process with them. And it was horrifying, to be honest. I had 1 million discovery calls.
You have like 6 AEs assigned to your account.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. We had a million people on this call.
An account
executive. Okay.
A salesperson.
Yeah. And they know nothing about real estate investing. They knew nothing about me or my company. And like we had 8-hour-long calls together where I'm just trying to explain what it is that I want and like what I'm picturing this tool for and all this. And then we get to the last call and there are 1 billion people on this call. I don't know who these people are. And now I think they're probably solution engineers and partners and, RVP or whoever. There was 1 million people and they present this beautiful slide deck. And I'm like, I'm screwed. This last slide is going to be very expensive, right? There's so many people on this call. And essentially what they unfurled was $1 million launch plan. Like, what? And the first part was going to be 6 months to build before I could even log in to the system. And that would cost $100,000. That was phase 1 and then be phase 2 and da-da-da-da. And they said all this with a straight face. And I was like flabbergasted. Like, what do you mean? I have like 8 people on my team. I can't pay for that. Like, what is Salesforce out of the box? Like, why is it so complicated? Why is it so difficult? And they just kind of laughed. Like, I honestly just laughed at me. And I was like, how hard can this be? Like, what is this? Right. And I was like, and I was real pissed off. Like, they
wasted so much of your time.
It was so much time to get there and have no expectation on like what they were going to say. And then to like, just throw this number out to this small company. Like, it was just, so I was melting down on this call and I was like, how hard can this be? I'll just build it myself.
Yeah. And did you say that?
I did. And then somebody on the call said, well, that's cute.
Did not.
So I was like, you can go to hell. Everyone hears it. Like, I was like, I didn't tell them to go to hell on the call. I wish I did. But I was just like, well, now I'm really going to do it, you bastard.
Yeah,
you did.
So I freaking hung up that call and I went to Zach, my husband. I was like, I'm just gonna effing do it. So
good for you.
I'm gonna figure this out. And I was so furious that I taught myself how to code and built this. And it took me like 100 hours straight, about 3 months of like late nights.
This is before AI, everyone. This is before you could vibe code with AI. This is like legit.
Vibe code.
I wish I could
just
vibe
learned
code.
about vibe coding last week.
It's a thing.
It is. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So it was, and then all the Salesforce courses were really expensive, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like $5,000 to take a course.
I think you get one free at Dreamforce though for all the listeners. Yeah, I think you get
it was wild.
You get a test free. That's what it is.
I don't know. It was expensive at the time, and I was again like just so turned off by I'm like, what is this? And so I just watched old YouTube videos from like Salesforce Classic, and I bought a Udemy course, and I was like, how I can figure this out. We can do this.
Wow.
And I was just
you
so
built
angry.
an app. You built a company.
Yeah. But I didn't mean to, because then we launched for Better Path Homes, a real estate investment company, and like we were live like 3 or so months later. And then the Salesforce AE that was on these calls followed up with me and was like, hey, did you give up? Like, do you want help with the developer? And I was like, nope, I'm good. I've launched. Thank you. It took me 3 months. I did it myself.
Yes.
Like, thank you so much, but take me out of your drip sequence. And she said, well, can I see it? And I was like, I guess you can, I'll show it to you. And then, whatever, we can move on. So I showed it to her and she was like, this is something. Do you know that? I was like, what do you mean this is something? She's like, I'm going to come up to Charlotte. I want to meet you and I want to talk more about what you built. So I was like, okay. So she comes up from Atlanta. She was in the Atlanta office and she's like, try to sell me other things. Yes. Okay, fine. But now I'm like interested, right? Like, what do you need? She's like, have you ever thought about being a partner? I was like, I don't know what that means. What's a partner? And so now I know, like, she introduced me to like decision makers essentially right away. And it was like, hey, people who come through the ecosystem that are real estate, they all get super upset because there's no solution for them. And it's really, really expensive. I think what you built, they should know about. And would you be willing to bring it to market? And I was like, okay, well, if that's what we can do, then this is what I want. And so I just kind of told them, like, this is the setup that I want, what I want to be able to sell and how I want to go to market. And fast forward a couple months later to January 2020, I had an OEM agreement and launched on the App Exchange.
I was going to ask you if it was OEM or ISV. You sell both or just
now I sell both.
Now you sell both.
Now
Clay's going to make you define those.
Yeah. So outside equipment manufacturer, I think is like
the OEM.
It's like an old school term where like your product is embedded in another product, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. What's so crazy sometimes with these acronyms? You tell me what it means and I still don't understand.
That one you can gloss over.
Okay, then what's the other one? The IS?
Independent software
vendor.
Software vendor.
Okay.
You're like reselling essentially, or
you're giving them a cut of every dollar you make. Remember, it's the tax. It's what Blakely didn't have to pay for her first X number of years.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nice.
Oh,
so both of them. Sorry,
don't
mean to derail.
Yes, she did.
You sell both now.
Do you stay in touch with that Salesforce AE from Atlanta that recommended this? Because I think that's really unique, right?
I sent her a message on LinkedIn a couple of years ago and was like, hey, I just want to let you know, because we like lost touch and she moved. You know how that happens. Like they get promoted and
every
move,
quarter
whatever.
they move.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So she was no longer my AE, like basically right after. And I wrote to her and I said, I just want to let you know, like what you did changed everything. Like, I don't know why you did that. Like, especially because I literally had a meltdown on this call. Like I was not polite.
But maybe that's why
she got nothing out of it. And except for
nothing.
helping you, which I think is awesome. You don't meet that many AEs that do that.
Right. And that's what turned it around for me, because I went from having like a kind of a bad taste in my mouth. Right. I'm like, this is crazy. It's not for like small businesses. And I'm like, feel so frustrated with the sales process and like, what is Salesforce doing? To then like, wait, there's internal evangelists. And like this girl just plucked me and helped me for literally no reason. Not for like, she got no benefit out of that. It was just kind. And the more I got into the Salesforce ecosystem now, like this Ohana thing is real. It actually is real. Like I have met a lot of incredibly kind people who have no reason to help me that have helped me. And now I'm like, I've drank the Kool-Aid. I am all in.
That
right?
Kool-Aid, it's really interesting to track it back, because if you think about where Salesforce got its start, we were all using Oracle and SAP, and all these are like AS400 machines, right? And you would have to call your IT department for a feature request, and it would take weeks, if not months, if not years, or millions of dollars to kind of get that fixed or get that in place for you. And what Salesforce did that I think absolutely blew up the world back whenever they started, what was that, 99? They put all the power into a business user's hands. Yeah. So a business user could administer their own system. And so people like you, Stephanie, could sit there and be like, I have a problem. I need to solve it. And they gave you the tools to solve it. And what that did was have this like little company plant the seed that empowered like just the regular workers like us to be able to create like different destinies for their companies. And it created a cult in the positive sense of the world. There's like negatives around it too. Like I'm kind of glad to be done. But at the same time, there's just a whole persona of people that like grew up together learning how to do this through empowerment. So I think that's a genius thing that Salesforce did. And I love it. I love that they did it.
Yeah, well, the buzzword is it's the most customizable platform on the planet, right? I mean, that's what they're always saying in all of those sales meetings and things. But the truth is, like, even for what I'm doing right now at the law firm, that doesn't exist. Like, I mean, initially I went to the App Exchange, it's like the Apple Store for Salesforce, Clay. You just go on and kind of can search, does this already exist? And it didn't. And so then we're kind of customizing it for the specific instance of the law firm. And you can't help it but look at it and be like, could we sell this? You know, because by the time you end up like figuring it all out and we've got bits and pieces of here, you do end up with this product and other people benefit from it. So
super empowering.
Yeah. And I love that Salesforce, instead of saying, show me, and then going and building it themselves and feeling that, they enabled you to say, okay, why don't you be a partner? And then started pointing people toward you. And I think that's the Ohana piece where it's like, okay, so we're all in this together versus I'm going to go build it. And then
I will also say Salesforce is your biggest threat. And I will say that to any ISV publicly.
But they'll go out and make their own and then.
Yeah, they've done it millions of times.
Business. Yeah.
They do it. They want Stephanie to be successful. They wanted you to be successful. They want me to be successful.
Yeah.
What about me?
And I don't know about
not
you,
so much you.
Clay, if you can't like do OEM at ISV, I
get
know.
it.
But
I just wanted to know.
Clay's one of those people at the conference that gets like the free pass for free expo day and just comes and gets all the swag collectors. You know what I mean? I hated that day. It was always on Wednesday night.
Why am I the worst person at the conference? Well, how did I get pinned as like the joke of the conference? I didn't even get invited, and now you're inviting me, but you're like, actually, you're kind of like on dweeb day, like you're kind of like the guy.
We're not even scanning your badge. We can just tell just by looking at you up and down. It's not even worth a swipe.
Like,
oh no, you'd be a booth babe. You'd be a booth.
I would be a booth babe.
He's the hired.
You'd be a
booth
great
babe.
booth babe. Yeah.
I've worked a few conferences before.
We should start talking about the conferences.
Yeah.
Oh, we should actually.
That was the
Booth
whole
babe
point.
is one of my sticky situations I have in line for us today.
Wait, before we move on to the conference, I do have a question for Stephanie. Are you tired?
Well, it took me a couple of years, but I did end up leaving medicine. So this is what I do full time now. I don't recommend doing all the things at once, which I did. And I had a really hard time with chapters and like saying goodbye to these things that I've done, right? Like I wanted to do them all. I had a really, really, really hard time with leaving, and even like leaving my position at Better Path Homes and like closing things up. I have a hard time with chapters, I think, in my life. Like it was so hard to stop having kids. Like I still want more bait. Like I have a hard time with chapters, but I let go and it was good. And now I'm not so tired anymore.
Oh,
now I sleep. Good. I didn't sleep for like 20 years because I was on call or working something. So now I sleep at least 8 hours a night, and it's glorious.
Good.
It's like a walk in the park now.
Yeah. What the heck?
I was tired just listening to it. I couldn't. I was like, how is she doing all of this? Okay.
Rage. It's rage coding. It's all the new hype.
Not vibe coding.
Vibe coding is for the weak.
Right. Rage coding is, oh, really? I can't do this? Okay. We'll see, motherfucker, whether I can do this. Yeah.
Right.
I love it. All right, Blakely, what do you got for us?
So I've got the cue cards. So I'm going to start with some soft ones. So Stephanie and Heather, you have extensive conference experience. So let's help our listeners out with some good tips.
Okay.
Clay, as a booth babe, you can chime in where you see fit.
I would love to let you lead the conversation, and I will listen. That was my booth babe impression. Was that good?
That's actually pretty on point. It is just to get the people to talk and hang around.
A little rusty.
So then the other people can come and actually listen and then decide who they want to talk to.
You have to unbutton your shirt a few more buttons.
Blakely.
That's a situation I have in here. When they ask you to do that, they do.
You know my background is employment law, right? And that was harassing of our employee.
I get it, Heather. That is the example I'm trying to set.
Oh, okay. It was pretend. Clay, do you feel okay? Do you feel harassed?
Every week, a little. I mean, this feels like a normal episode for us. So
that's fair.
I feel totally comfortable, which might be the problem. But anyway, continue.
All right, here we go. Situation. I'm calling it the name blank. Good grief. You guys are hard to have a podcast with.
Sorry, it's just so funny when you said that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Situation. The name blank. You're at a conference and someone walks up like your old friends, but you have zero memory of meeting them. What's your move?
Who goes first?
You go first. You're our guest. Or you don't have to, but
okay, I'll go first. I will say, I'm so sorry. I can't remember your name.
Yeah. Get in front of it. Just be honest about it.
What if you, like, this happens to me all the time. Yeah, like every day, all the time. It could be Heather, like my husband. I might not, like out of context, I don't know their names. What if you know them though? And you might have actually even had a meeting with them the last week. Like that's how bad it is for me.
Okay. So sometimes I got to be a little slick. So usually I'm not by myself at a conference, or I have somebody that I know or that I've met or whatever. So I will
do you have a handler?
The handler.
No, I don't have a handler, but I'm usually with other people that I know. So I will say something like, "Oh, you've got to meet my best friend Jenny," and then he'll say, and then they'll say, "Oh, my name is blah blah," and then I'll get it.
Good one. I love that one.
Intro.
The fake intro is a really good one. Also, if you can grab a quick glance at the name badge. But the problem is Salesforce always does these freaking long lanyards.
Yes.
So then it looks like you're checking out. Like you have to look down. It's
and the
really
embarrassing part
obvious.
is if you look down, then they know you forgot their name.
So that's a little bit more tricky.
Yeah. Okay, this one's really easy. All right, the roommate situation. Your company is making you share a hotel room with a colleague to save money. How do you handle 3? Thank you. I don't even have, you're right. I don't even have to finish the question because you know what?
Don't do it.
Do not ever make your employees share rooms.
Ever.
I hate companies that do that.
Me too.
Stephanie, are you doing that for your company?
No.
Can you imagine if she was though?
I know. We actually thought about it. We thought about it for like an offsite because it was like super expensive and there were huge rooms. And then we're like, no.
It's just too awkward. I don't mind if it's like an Airbnb, but people have their own rooms inside the Airbnb.
If they have their own bathrooms, that's privacy. My draw. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree, but it has to be like a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Privacy is important.
Oh, I hate that. Okay.
Me too.
I got to move on, but I have to breathe. That's like some trauma.
Whew. Did you have a roommate situation that went wrong?
Yeah, and I snore. I snore really, really horribly, and I'm sorry.
And then they told everybody about it.
It's
and
awkward, and I just don't feel comfortable, and the whole thing. And people have their safe toilets, right? Like your safe toilet's at home.
I'm sorry, what's a safe toilet?
What's a safe toilet? Is that where you poop?
Yeah, did you guys talk about the safe toilet?
I've never called it a safe toilet.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes when you travel a lot, you wait to get it home because it's your safe toilet.
Oh, so you don't have like performance anxiety where it's like you can't because someone's right on the other side of the door?
And so if you have a roommate, it just makes that so much more difficult.
So
you know
awkward.
I mean?
And usually those hotels, they don't have like fans or anything.
Or it's like a barn door closing. So
a barn door
crack.
and a crack along the bottom.
And there's
too.
no noise
So
canceling.
no noise canceling.
Anyway.
Sorry, it was the term. It was the term safe toilet that threw us off. What you're talking about, though, is 100% real. And we're really glad that Stephanie's company will not have to endure anything like that on this trip.
Nope.
I can't
everyone
heard
can
that
have
term.
their safe toilet.
Poop. We're a peaceful pooping culture. Okay, go ahead.
All right, this goes back to Heather's tips earlier, and I just don't agree. And it's the party after the party. It's midnight. The people you are with, maybe it's your team, or worse, it's your boss, and they want to hit another party. Do you go?
I do not.
Thank you.
You don't go. But
You don't go.
Did I have the Adderall or no Adderall? Adderall keeps you up
You've
late.
had the Adderall. Mm-hmm.
Then I definitely go.
Here's the thing. You all have kids. Don't you say to your kids, nothing good happens after midnight?
No.
Nothing. No, that is not where deals happen. Ever. Do not go to the party after the party. Go to one sanctioned Dreamforce party a night. I feel I'm like.
First of all, I turn into a pumpkin. At 9:30, I'm tired, so I want to go to nights. Okay?
Me too.
But the other thing is like, I've come to realize that it's not necessarily safe for me. Like, I don't want to be in that scenario. Usually I travel to conferences without my husband, right? So like now I'm going to be out late. It's after midnight. I'm at a bar. Everyone's drunk. And what I'm like, I don't drink when I'm traveling if I'm not with him. So like, I'm going to be the only sober one and I'm going to be around all the drunk people. Like, I don't think it's a safe situation for me to be in. I'm just going to go to bed and I'm going to be safe. And I'm not going to worry about getting myself in some strange scenario. Just going to go to bed.
I actually think that raises a really good point. Like, I don't think we are here, and I want everyone to know this clearly, like we are not here to shame drinkers, tell you how much to drink. Do you want to drink? Do you not want to drink? Like, that's everyone's own thing. I do have perspective and what I hope is some amount of wisdom. And it is very different if you're a subordinate peer or a leader. And I drank a lot at these things in my 20s and 30s because I was sort of getting to know my way, and it put me in some really tough situations, which actually I'll just say in the next situation and then it's like circle back. Like, I do think there's some drinking parameters. So the next situation is someone at a conference won't stop texting you, showing up where you are, getting flirty. You see that they have their like wedding ring tan. How do you shut it down? And I'll say, I've had this happen to me many a times. One, when I was in my 20s, like I was talking about, where I was drinking and I ended up in a hotel room with my boss. And it wasn't until they got into their boxers, and he was married. I was not married. I would never, like, and this is what I said, like, I would never do that ever in a million years, like when I married, but he was married and I was culpable. Like, I drank, I got into that situation. And when he sat on the edge of that bed in his boxers, I said, holy fuck, what the hell am I doing in this room? And luckily he was not,
attractive?
he was attractive, but he wasn't an asshole in the terms of like, he wasn't going to force me there. Like that is the scary situation I could have been in. And he let me leave. And I think he was bummed, but he let me leave, like not a big deal. And he was, and I look back at now and Me Too, and like, there's the whole power play situation. But I knew exactly what I was doing. And part of that was the drink, right? Like I would not have done that in a sober moment. So that's just something to remember to our young ones, like that are still exploring in their 20s and 30s. It does make you behave differently, but you also kind of learn some of these situations. And then fast forward to later, when I had a guy like stalking and texting me, and I was married at this point, and I didn't even like the guy, and he followed me, showed up at dinners and parties. And that one I had to like call in a friend and like have them be with me because I felt very unsafe, very super inappropriate. But all to circle back in my long dissertation here is no know your ability to drink. And if you're not making good decisions, like I did not make good decisions in my 20s, maybe pull it back a little bit. And so I actually had to make a transition when I ran the company, and I made it a rule. And I think this is what you were just saying, Stephanie. Like I maybe had one drink as a boss, and then I would leave because I kind of know what they're going to do when they're younger, and I don't want to be a part of it, and I don't want to have to see something, right? So I don't know, Heather, what's your experience on this one? Oh gosh, she's going to say nothing. I'm perfect angel. I never made a bad decision or bad choice, and I get drunk all the time.
It's so the opposite.
Please, Heather.
I'm like, oh, I should have acted that way. Yeah, no, I love having fun so much that like the idea when I became CEO versus COO, there was kind of this shift. I was working with an executive coach, and it is different. Being like the top person is different. And she said to me, you're going to have to get used to leaving the party early instead of shutting it down. And I would shut it down as COO for many reasons. Looking out for people, making sure everybody got home okay, being that call. Like, so it wasn't like, oh, I was always just raging. But as CEO, it was like leaving that all there, letting go of the control of where the night goes, or, you know, kind of from protecting people. I mean, keep in mind, I would have everyone sign a waiver. Every single social event we did, they signed waivers.
What?
Saying, yes.
You had your team sign waivers?
For every single event, even like family events, because we.
What does that mean? Like, what are they signing away? Like
they're signing anytime we would serve them alcohol, I guess, which is pretty much every social event we would have that available. And so
what
it
would
would
say?
be. The waiver said, it said, I acknowledge that that drinking is not a required, act of my job. That although it's available to me, it's my choice to partake. If any damage or harm comes to me as a result of this choice to, engage in substances, that you're not going to hold the company liable for anything that happens. And so, I mean, we did trips to Cancun, we did things. And so it was like, I could not sleep at night knowing that someone could get hurt or put themselves in a bad situation. And then somehow that comes back on the company because we provided that or made that possible for them. Because they're all adults and they're all responsible for their own behavior. So it was just an acknowledgement that they were responsible for their own behavior, and that attending the event itself wasn't that their job wasn't hinged upon whether or not they showed up, and also whether or not they chose to partake in alcohol. So
how did you make that transition from being the one who leaves early?
Horribly. Mm-hmm. Like I barely did it once, and it might have been just because I was tired. So, and another thing about me, like I will absolutely drink like sometimes, but also there's many times when I don't drink and I'm still like karaokeing on top of a table or something. Like it's just, I love to have fun. And so it's that part was always so tough for me about thinking, how are you portraying yourself? And because we were bootstrapped and I was employee number 4 of that company, it really did feel like, I mean, these were deep friendships, the crossing, it wasn't just colleagues, and we had deep friendships that we would hang out even outside of work sometimes. And so that was part of it too, was there was a comfort level. So I think it depends a lot on what stage your organization is at. And, is there a publicity to it? Is there a public thing? Are you going to be on stages? Are you representing the brand out publicly? I think in those cases with phones and everything, you have to be extremely careful. So it did change. And then through the acquisition with Main Capital, obviously that's, fun's over at that. But I mean, not fun's over, but it's like, you're definitely not doing that at that level. So I think it depends on what stage you're in.
That transition's really hard because some of those early employees did become good friends. And like Stephanie, you hired or you work with one of your closest friends.
Yeah.
And
my COO is my very best friend that I've been best friends with since I was 13.
Yes. And so my COO also became a very, very dear friend of mine. But there was a point where I remember my husband said this and my business partner said this, is like, you are not their friends. You can no longer be friends and be like an objective leader. And that's part of the loneliness we talk about on this show. Like you really do have to have a different boundary. And so like, if I take it all the way back to conferences, like, are you with your peers? okay, maybe stay in line with your peers. Are you a subordinate? Just be mindful of how you want to be in front of your boss, or if you're like me, don't do that, whatever. And the opposite, if you are the boss, if you are the leader, like maybe it's one or two, and then like walk away and let the youngs have fun, and but also let them know that they are representing your brand. And I think that's important. Heather, that was a great message. Well, everyone there is representing your brand.
Exactly. And in who you're around, and are you in a group? I mean, if I'm in a pack of 8 to 10 people of my people, and we all have each other's back, that looks a lot different than me going to the executive dinner where I'm by myself because we're at the CEO function and everybody's networking, but I'm essentially alone. So that whole thing happened of a guy kind of coming out at the end, and like I'm waiting for my Uber, and then he comes and asks to share the Uber, and then just gets uncomfortable, and I'm alone, and I feel very exposed. So in those situations, I actually don't drink. It's kind of like how much of my wits do I need to have about me?
Yeah.
And so it's just really depending on each situation. And I love, Stephanie, how you said, agreement with your husband when you travel, or that. I love having those types of things going into it where you're just saying, look, this is our rule. This is our personal thing that we have decided. When we travel, we don't do that. And I'm not asking you to get personal about that. I appreciate you saying, look, it's okay to have these boundaries before you even go into the situation where it's not even an issue, where you're not forced to like, am I going to, am I not? Have a plan going in, and then you'll be able to stand behind that a lot easier.
Well, like, ask me why we have these ground rules, right? Is because there's been shit that's happened. And you're like, how the hell did I get in this situation, right? And then although like your intentions can be completely benign, completely innocent, you're like, I did not mean to get here. Now, how the hell do I get out? And, I have no problem talking about this because I think there's almost like, okay, I'll speak to how I felt. I never wanted to have the appearance that I had limitations. I'm like, I am a powerful woman in this space, and I am here independently, and I'm going to stand on my own ground. And that is true. But I'm also a wife and a mother and a leader, and the way I show up affects all those other people. And so I need to show up in a meaningful, thoughtful way that doesn't put any of those people in a difficult situation. And then I am accountable to them. So if I, end up in like a hotel lobby and it's 2 a.m. and I haven't called my children to say goodnight and my husband, and then they're like, where are you? And I have to say, oh, I don't know. I lost track of time. I drank too much and I'm sitting in this lobby. Like, that sucks for them to hear. Right. So I never wanted to put them in that situation, even though, the intentions and nothing ever happened and whatever. I felt like this is a better way for me to show up. And then I have an expectation. He has an expectation, and I can exist in a very male dominated environment and still be like in control and safe. And I can, do what I need to do from the company standpoint, and I can have a ton of fun, but with a little bit of guardrails, I guess. And I'm okay with that. And so I think some other people may not be okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Well, I love that it communicates that you are someone that has boundaries. And so whether that boundary is to not have a single drink, or whether it's to have one, whether it's to have two, but people are watching. They're watching, and you might not even realize it. But I've been in situations where I could tell based on this was a dinner, and there's about 10 people there. And there was a couple of us who did not accept, like, when the waiter comes around to like pour the other glass of wine to top everyone off. And so me and another woman said, no, I'm good. And then we switched to our water. And then 2 other women at the table were like, yep, bring it on, and then kept more. The gravitation of the men at that table, like, gradually like went to these other women, because they're communicating just by continuing to drink that they're down to have fun.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, well, those 2 are going home early. They're not any fun. So I never said that. I never commented on it. It was just there, but they're looking and they're noticing. And that was so interesting. We talked about it on our way home. We're like, did you notice how that happened? And
I think we need to talk about it, because like, if we don't talk about it, then I think that's like, women keep secret. Like, we hold the secrets. We are the secret keepers of like what that guy really says. Like behind closed doors, or like whispers to you when he's married and whatever else. Like, and then we never share that because we're like, oh, that didn't happen. Right. And then everybody has this isolated experience. But like, and I don't care what century it is. Like, if we're in those scenarios, it's a little bit risky. You know, I'm pretty strong and I'm pretty direct, and I'll tell you to fuck off. Right. Yeah. But like, I'm still like, I can still find myself in these situations like, oh my gosh. So I'm just,
yeah. Well, speaking of that, so good. I mean, I think safety is a big deal. And so, you know how your mom always taught you, like, don't walk in a dark alley by yourself? Mm-hmm. I would say in conferences, do not get into an Uber with someone. And especially do not get into an elevator, honestly, with someone. For me, I have to, just from, again, personal experience of people like getting off on my floor. And I'm like, I don't know that they're on this floor, right?
Oh, so, God. That is so creepy. I know that.
It is so creepy. Oh, so I kind of wait for the elevator to be my own, or I like have someone from work drop me off. And these conferences are big and things happen. Mm-hmm. And they're also really, really fun. So I don't mean to like scare it off. They are really, really fun.
Yeah. Guys, we talked about so many things. I think we did cover conference stuff, but we talked about some really sensitive, vulnerable stuff. Mm-hmm. So just to recap, I really don't take Adderall recreationally. I'm feeling a little vulnerable that I said that.
Are you putting a disclaimer on our show exit? I really don't end up in hotel rooms with my naked boss.
I mean, well, you did, but I'm just saying, I feel like I overrepresented that. So yeah, anyway, no, serious. But thank you so much though, for saying that. We have
it's
to normalize that we end up in these situations. And how do we get out of them, and how do we help other people not end up in that same spot? So, Stephanie, thanks for leading the way and opening that. I think you kind of initially said that about the drinking part and sharing. I think these are conversations we need to keep having, and hopefully listeners today will start talking with their colleagues and have a plan when they're going into a conference. How are they going to handle these situations if they find themselves in them, and what are the goals that you want to get out of it? So thank you guys so much. Before we take off, we ask everybody the same question at the end of every episode, which is, what brought a smile to your face this week? So you can think about it. Clay, Blakely, do you guys want to go? Do you have anything?
I can go.
Okay.
So we had a guest on here, Molly Keaveney, a couple episodes back, and Molly and I are in the same girls card group. So we play cards every month. And she brought she won last month. And, you know, in classic Molly style, she's like the best gift giver. She thinks of all these little things. And she brought a trophy to this month's card game. Guess who won?
Whoa.
I got the trophy. I was so happy. So it's on my mantle. I won card night.
Can you describe it for people who are listening? What does it look like? It's very cool. I've never seen one like that.
Yeah,
really it's big.
It's great, right? It's probably the only trophy I've ever won because I don't have an athletic bone in my body, so I never won anything there. But it's like got a deck of cards, like a royal flush, although we don't play that game. And then she had it custom engraved because we're called the Card Sharks, and it says Card Shark winner, and I get to keep it for a whole month. Whoa. And if I win again, you guys, I get it for a second month, which I will.
Wow.
I'm very competitive, so no problem.
Well, what's the game you play? What's the card game?
Wizard? Have you heard of Wizard?
Oh, you taught me Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
bought
for
like Clay for Midwesterners like you
euchre.
Yourself. Oh. It's like, no, it's not at all like euchre.
It's a little bit like euchre with the tricks.
Doesn't represent euchre at all. It's like tricks. Ups and Downs. If you've heard of Ups and Downs or Ladder or Oh Hell, it's like one of those games. So it's a trick taking game. It is not like euchre at all.
Okay.
Anyway. You take tricks.
Well, I will say that nothing is like euchre. I will say that.
I love euchre.
It's got a special.
I don't know either of these games.
Okay, well, when we come visit you in North Carolina, we're going to play.
Okay. Wizard is on its way to you, girl.
That's the plan. All right, Clay.
So obviously the Detroit Lions won. So
Woo!
that's
you can't use that every week.
I know. I'm just getting it out of the way. I just want to get it out of the way.
Okay.
But if I don't say it, someone's going to comment and say, Clay, you didn't say anything about, Anyway, my son won an award at his school.
Stop it.
He
so cute.
So
he's so cute.
He won the responsibility award for primary at his school. So,
and how old is he?
He's
for
5.
Listeners, know? He's 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's the line leader
my heart.
of his class.
Oh.
So he's always the one in the front.
Amorous.
So we got to show up to his school. We got invited. It was a surprise. We got an email from his school administrator, come to the school. So we got to surprise him. So we got to see him get the award at his school, which was really cool.
Wow.
That was really fun and experience. But then the fun part was he had told us he was the line leader. And, so we actually got to see him line lead in action. And that's actually what brought a smile to my face, because seeing him be responsible, the kids form behind him. Then he sees Ray, my wife and I, he sees us. And instead of just running over to us, he turns to his teacher and asks, "May I please go see my parents?" Then he runs over to us, gives a hug, comes back, gets perfectly in line, and they take off. And I was like, this is the best feeling in the world. So we were like, great. Yeah, dude. So that was really fun. So that was good.
Good job.
Yeah.
He crushed it.
Oh,
He did crush it.
All right, I'll go next, Stephanie, so we end with you.
Okay.
So my college girlfriends came in last weekend. And we acted like we were 21 again. It was
you said, didn't you say this on the show that they were coming?
It was, yeah. So that was what brought my smile to my face. Well, because the one was already here at that time. Mm-hmm. And so that was enough to start. So then 2 more come. And it was so fun. I mean, we didn't stop talking for 3 days. Like there was no, except for sleeping, it just kept going. And I thought surely at some point we will stop reminiscing, or it just moved from thing to thing to thing to thing. We did like the face masks. We did our old like dances.
You did not. You did
Yes,
your dance routines?
Yes, we did.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
send you the video. It's really embarrassing. It was just really, really fun. We didn't stop laughing the entire time. So it was good.
I was so boring.
Not anymore. Stephanie, what brought a smile to your face this week?
So both of my daughters have 3 kids, 2 girls, and the girls are 5 years and 1 day apart. So they both had birthdays this past week. Wow. And my oldest turned 16, which is really wild. And then my youngest, I have a son in the middle, she turned 11. So the 16 birthday party, that was really special. And kind of like, it's like a landmark, and she's so excited. Yeah. She's going to get her license, and then she applied for like a job right away because she could, and she's been waiting to do that. So just to see just the possibilities, I recognize what she felt, like how I felt when I turned 16, and like the world is so big, and you finally have a little bit more access to it, and it was just really exciting to see that happen and unfold. And I'm so proud of her. She's such a good girl. And it was just
fun.
It was a whole.
Did you do a party?
Weekend.
You did like a party, and
we had a party at our house. We did a murder mystery party.
Whoa!
So everybody dressed up. They all dressed up in like fancy outfits, and they all had a role they had to play. So like one was the murderer, and there was evidence, and they loved it. There was like, okay, now's the time to like gossip, and they had things to gossip about, so they loved that. And it was just, it was a whole thing. It was really fun. Yeah.
I just found out that my daughter's boyfriend's family plays murder mystery every year for Thanksgiving. And this is the first year that we're home for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, can we get an invite?
Can we come? It was so fun.
To the party? Yes, cool. They're so fun.
Yeah, but I'm worried about your competitive thing, like ruining Thanksgiving. If you went. Right?
People tell me that all the time.
Well, no, but because you struggle with that, and I'm just worried, like with the in-laws, like in like the murder mystery, I could see you being like, that's not what the card says. Okay. And I overheard somebody saying something that wasn't. It's not gossip time, and I heard them gossiping, and you're like going to call people out.
Okay, this is smile time, and Heather is about to make me cry. So I want to move on. I move to close this meeting.
I love you, Blakely.
Love you, Heather.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We had so much fun today. We are having so much fun with this podcast. We appreciate you listening. Please hit subscribe on YouTube and check us out next week. We're going to be recording live from Dreamforce somehow. I'm going to figure it out, and we're going to see what happens, but you're not going to want to miss it. So please hit subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me.